So this video is focusing on a recent purchase over the summer. There's a very good swap meet in Dundas, Ontario, which is about an hour away from me here in Niagara Falls. And this car was really the only purchase I made, only because I was very intrigued that it's a fly slot car. I love the fly slot cars. And this particular one is the 1976 Trans Am championship winner driven by George Fulmer. So if we take a close look at this car, I mean, I just love the fly cars. The detail is astronomical. Those great big fenders, front and back. We've got huge tires on there. And what I really like about the Fly is, look at the detail underneath. You can see transmission and exhaust pipes and such, so that's fantastic that that's all been reproduced underneath here. And the detail on front, these vents here, they all have actual screens inside. I don't know if you can see it, you can see through those screens into the front of the car, which is excellent. Yeah, maybe you can see it better on the inside. There we go. You can see them going through. So having etched metal pieces and screening and things like that makes a big difference to me in a slot car. It does have the bigger rear fin on here. It doesn't have working lights. The lights are covered over, which it would have in the race because they're daytime racing. It's not endurance racing where they go into the evening. But what I really like about this is that it has a rear motor, so it's actually behind the rear axle, and it's lays acrossways. And what that does, that leaves a lot of space so that you have a full driver and cockpit detail, which is what I really like about the Fly cars. Now, a lot of wood track racers and things like that, they like the motor in front of that rear axle so that you get the best balance of the car. What I like about Fly is that they put the motor where it is in the real car. So they have the very front engine ones with a long drive shaft to the rear gearing. And again, a lot of people complain about that if you're racing, because apparently they're not the fastest or most efficient. But again, I like the idea of that, is that transmission goes through and you still get a full cockpit and detail. The detail inside is second to none. So excellent, excellent car. And looking at a little bit of research here, I've got a couple of magazines. This one is a Porsche sport magazine. I think it was an annual, came out once a year or maybe 4 times a year. I just got a couple of them. But this one has a nice article on the 76 Trans Am preview. Oh, preview, so it's not even afterwards. And here's that exact same car. If I show that up here and bring this into the picture. Yeah, they're just spectacular. Right on the money. It works really well in proportion and in detail, as the real picture will show you. The one little printing issue on here is that there's a banner up the top of the windshield here, but it's a dark red against black and you almost can't read it. But when you see photos, yeah, you can see that very clearly. That it should have been printed much later on the model, so we can see that. And then we have the August issue 1976 of Road and Track, and it has a whole article on the Trans Am championship up to that point. And there's that car as well. Different number on it, but it's basically the same car. You can see how huge that back tire is on that car. But it has all the front venting is bang on between the picture and the model. So it's excellently done. So very cool. If you've seen a previous video, I got this diecast of the same car, but in a different livery. And again, when you look at the detail, I mean, this is amazing. I mean, you watch this, it has working suspension. It's got all the springing in there. The front is working suspension as well. It's full steering. It's got all the air cooling for the brakes coming, winding through. Yeah, it's got all of the front end where the fuel tank and oil and such is kept in. And then you got back here with the motor all wired, and even the tubing in here to cool these reds in the back wing. So very cool to see a model so you can really see the functionality of the slot car. Now, very similar to, and I'm always a bit confused by the 934, which this one's representing. And then Scalextric came out a couple of years ago with this one. Now it's labeled as a 911, which is a very popular branding of Porsche, but that goes way back and even quite a bit after this. But what makes the 911 a 934 or such? So this one really is, I would assume, is a 934, because the descriptions I was reading about the Porsches here is there's the road version and then there's the racing version. And they're saying the racing version has these huge rear tires, of which both of these have. Now here's two different manufacturers, and again, those rear tires are identical, really nicely done. The track on this one's slightly shorter, but that could be a scale issue, it's hard to say. Now, the one thing about Scalextric when they do these, now I don't believe at the time this would have run, which was 76, same as this one. I don't believe there was a Golf car. When I was researching this, it seems like it's not even an original from the period. It's kind of a re-imaged, and this has been in vintage races, and this one particularly at Daytona just a few years back. And it lists the drivers and such, but like a lot of the vintage cars that Scalextric have been doing of the older cars, they're based on vintage races. They not so often are going back to the original time that they ran. So this is probably very, well, I know it's very accurate. I found pictures online of this exact car at Daytona at a vintage race. And the drivers, and the article talked about the drivers who ran this, one of them being Jochen Mass, who's an ex-Formula One driver and endurance driver and such. But anyway, just wanted to compare Scalextric to the Fly. And first off, you look underneath. There's really no detail underneath of this car. It's all pretty plain and straightforward. Whereas, again, I love all the detail. You got body panels and suspension pieces and such all being formed into that under tray, which I think is fantastic. And two, the motor is placed in where it's supposed to be. This one, it's an inline. So you can see there's the crown gear. And because of that, it's a tray inside. So you're not getting the full detail, cockpit or whatnot. The other thing I was surprised at is if I look at the rear wheel, nicely detailed everything, but you know, there should be quite a recess on the rim there. There should be some real depth, which this doesn't have. But if I compare that to the Fly, look at that. It's got really nice depth. It's got really nice, even the detail of that wheel is really defined, which is really nice. And I take it the scale would be really quite nice as well. Now, when I was mentioning just a slight difference in scale, or not scale, but just dimension on, you know, somewhat the width and the length and such. But again, what I've been pointing out and is a great feature with the Scalextrics are And again, why they produce these historic cars as opposed to the original period is that they actually get a hold of or get to go see the real car and do a 3D scan. So it's absolutely scale accurate when you get a Scalextric car. Fly is noted to be a little oversized sometimes and maybe, slightly out of proportion. But you can always guarantee that the Strombeckers are bang on. And this one is very, very close. I was quite impressed with the dimensions, that the two are quite nicely proportioned to each other. Just slight variations here and there. So it's good to see. Okay, so we'll take these two, give them a rundown on the track. And it just happens that with this car, I have in my Assetto Corsa simulator, has that car, and I'm going to have that set up and give it a run and see what the real car was like driving, because the dynamics, the steering, and the feedback on the steering wheel and everything is very, very accurate on that particular simulator software. So we'll give that a go in a bit. But first, let's go take a look at the track. Okay, we're at the track, and I'm going to give both of these Porsches a run, the white one being the Fly, and the golf-colored one being the Scalextric. We'll do the white one first. I'll give it a couple laps so we can see how it performs. It's really quite stuck down. A bit noisy, but I really think these Flies should run at 14 volt. I've got it at 12 because these are a bit older, and just the motors that they have seem to perform at that little bit more voltage. So here we'll swap this over. So right off the bat you can hear that this is a lot quieter. It's got rear lights, doesn't have the front because they're covered over. But yeah, it definitely has a lot more speed. It does have a better balance of magnet and speed. But I think, again, this motor really is optimized for 12 volts. So it does run exceptionally well. So my verdict anyways is the Fly, I think, is the preference for look and detail. And again, I'm a fan of the full cockpit. The Scalextric, it's very nice, doesn't quite have the detail. It has a tray interior, which I'm not a big fan of, but boy, it runs exceptionally well. So I'm sure if I ran these head to head that the Fly would, or the Scalextric would win every time. But I recommend both. I love having both of them. And again, as I go to these swap meets, I'm finding older things that I wish I could have found and had a chance to buy at the time when they first came out. But I'm getting that second chance, and yeah, still filling out the collection. It never ends. Here we are using Assetto Corsa Racing Simulator, my favorite of the bunch that's out there. Highly recommend it. We're in a field of Porsche 911s. Picked a very short track here with some real tricky corners. Some very slow corners, some sweepers. Very technical circuit. And I found it was very difficult to set the car up. I think the 911 is difficult to balance and get the handling right. Had to do a lot of adjustments. Try not to hit the other car. I got hit. Very aggressive on these simulators where, man, if you're not keeping the line or not going fast enough, they just knock you off the track. Didn't lose too many. I gained some spots and lost a few as I got knocked off the track there. Oh man, geared up too quickly. Lost some momentum there. Here's that tightening corner. Very tricky. Slower corner. Pretty tight. Slowest corner, second gear. Always find I can make a late brake and pass at that point. Well, that's where I got knocked off last time. See if I can make up any ground. Yeah, I find with the 911 handling wise that you really got to be careful on the throttle. Easy to get that car to come right around. Your steering input as well. You got to be smooth. Oh man, brakes aren't the greatest. This car has enormous rear tires, just like the slot cars, but surprisingly it doesn't give you great handling. It's so difficult to get a decent lap time out of this car. So again, any driver who is successful, and this car is very successful around the world, anything that's been entered in. So it's takes a very talented driver, which apparently not the greatest. And I know with the simulators, they're a little more challenging, I think, because you don't get that seat of your pants. You don't, all movement of the car is through the steering wheel. You're not getting any seat of your pants feeling, which is definitely a must to be successful with these cars. I'm surprised I'm still on the track, even though with that early excursion there. Now, I can't complain. All these cars are the same. So the AI is doing a better job of it than me. There's this big sweeper, but man, I've lost it. I've done a 360 with this car just accelerating through that turn. I can feel the back end sliding there. Very slow corner, second gear. Oh, there we go. Hey, there, I got him back. I don't know who hit me, but I hit that one, got a good pass. Up to 6 from 11th. Guess that's not too bad. One last lap coming up here now. See if I can make it to the end. Second last corner coming up. If I go through this corner, I've lost control of the car through here a few times. Oh, just saved it. That back end was coming right around on me. There we go. Let's see if we can get a bit of a replay before I pack it in. Yeah, a little damage on there, side, the back. There I am back there. Bellelunga, Italian track. There's a lot of different configurations of this track. This is the shortest version. On the other, there's some other long stretches and things, but can be very tricky. Here's that slowest corner. Yeah, every side of the car. I've smashed every corner of that car. The front hood's shaking loose. Sure, that doesn't help my handling. All identical Porsche 911s, just different paint schemes and such. Yeah, this is an older game, but the graphics are quite good. But the physics it outperforms every other simulator out there, I find. You get a real feel for the road. And from car to car, there's a huge difference in handling and, the power range on the car. But it's completely adjustable. You can set up numerous things you can adjust to try and get the handling just so. Oh, there we go. There's my tap. Getting that guy out of the way. Anyway, this is very, very close to the slot cars I'd shown and the Diecast that I have, but always great fun. You can pick any numerous tracks, ones you're familiar with, and I'm not that familiar with this track, but trying different cars on the same track, you really see the handling and the characteristics of each car. Very unique. Anyways, I think we're coming up to the end here. I'll be signing off. It's been a while since I've had a car that is represented in the simulator here, so hopefully that's been of some interest over and above the slot car. And yeah, we'll wrap up. There we go. I have no idea what lap we're on. But anyways, to the next one. Hopefully we get another one at some point with simulator as long with the slot cars. See you in the next one.